Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarice.
And this is The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Episode 7. The Rings. Last week, the mountain blew up. We had a volcanic moment. And now we have Mordor. Does that eruption mean that the plot is full steam ahead? See what I did there with the water going into the lava and the steam?
I got it. God, I hope so. We've been hot and cold on the show. You know, there's been stuff that we've...
and we're cold. We're yes and we're no.
There's been stuff that I've loved. We've really enjoyed. There's been stuff that don't love. And I'm hoping that it's just been our rocky start. But as soon as we actually are getting into the plot of things, that it'll really chug along.
Let's chug with this. If you want the full length reaction, go over to patreon.com/nerdynightly. You said Rocky. I don't know what you said, but all I could think of was Rocky Road ice cream. We're about to head on another work trip to a convention, and that means that for us, reactions like this can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Because how are we supposed to watch that good content that we pay for with our Canadian streaming services when we're abroad? The answer? Atlas VPN. And right now is the best time to get in because they're offering the sweetest deal. You can get Atlas VPN for $1.99 a month for the next 3 years using our code get.atlasvpn.com/nerdynightly. You can be an internet ninja, sneaking around, looking at the sites that you want to see and not letting the world know that you saw them. They are also a protective force for you on the internet. You want a shield between you and those malicious links, that malware out there, and Atlas VPN provides that as part of its service that you would get with our deal. On top of that, you get access to content around the world that you don't currently have access to. With Atlas VPN, you just say, hey, internet, I'm in Canada. Suddenly, you can watch Crave. It is private, it is secure, and on top of everything else, it is unlimited. If you sign up using our link with Atlas VPN, you get to connect unlimited devices to your account for the next 3 years. You could be protected till 2026. Go to get.atlasvpn.com/nerdynightly and get your sweet deal for years of Atlas VPN at just $1.99 a month. With more than 6 million users worldwide, Atlas VPN is a service that you can trust. And we want to thank Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Head down to the description, head down to the pinned comment, click on that link, get your deal, get.atlasvpn.com/nerdynightly. Go do it and enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Do we find out who he is in this episode?
If it doesn't happen soon, it's just going to be annoying.
It does kind of get hilarious. It becomes a joke, right?
Of the entire elven race
is in your hands.
You know, he's sporting half a chub there. He's great.
He's here for it, yeah.
The only thing that gets me harder than this is Disa. I still like the upside down cutting off the head. It's a good beat. People were upset about Galadriel's horse theatrics last week.
Oh my god, I know.
Of the things in that episode.
Have you watched The Lord of the Rings?
Galadriel riding a horse side saddle is the least ridiculous thing I've seen an elf do.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
All right, how did they survive? Oh no, we have to watch this.
Right. Yeah, that was one thing that I'm guys, come on. The bullshit that Legolas pulled.
Yeah. I felt like we had some complaints last week, but none of the action was really up there. I thought the action all looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was really well done.
Sometimes the background action is a little bit
yeah.
But that's everything nowadays.
Yeah, the background, it's not what you're watching.
Well, it's just because productions don't spend time on rehearsal for extras the way that they used to. When in the late 90s, you would get 400 people together for 3 days to practice the shot.
Yeah.
And now you'll get the cast together, but you won't really get those extras together.
And they wing it.
Yeah. How crazy would it be if they were oh no, this Elendil and Isildur died. And their descendants, Elendil and Isildur, are the ones you know from the stories.
Oh my god.
If she was the only person that survived the volcano. Huge shout out to the makeup department on this.
Yeah, that looks unreal.
The texturing on her, like, armor.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow. This is going to sound messed up, but I was really worried everyone was going to survive. And so the fact that people are dead actually is, like, better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I feel bad for saying that.
Although I really don't know how a single thing survived that, but...
Seriously. Maybe if you were inside, like... Because there were all those people in the tavern, right? This looks incredible. This, like, yellow-orange that they've put, like, this looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If Bronwyn's dead, I'll be kind of pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they, like, saved her in the other episode, and, like, that would just feel like it was for nothing. But...
I feel like those other 4 people could have helped, but I really thought with the way Elendil was running towards her at the end of the last episode that she was going to be the one to go.
That's... yeah.
No. It's always the most innocent among us. Oh, maybe being in a tavern wouldn't be better. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, we know he's alive, so...
Yeah. It is kind of like the person you put in danger is the, like, least interesting person to be in danger.
Like, if the queen had been stuck in there, I'd be oh, is she dead?
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, no! Okay. They're alive.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried.
I see. I'll ask him then.
Superstitious people are the worst.
Also, that girl who's like, yeah, let them fall behind and die, is like, oh yeah, ask him for more help. I'm like, fuck off.
Said the trees don't talk.
Some do.
Shh.
Very slowly.
He's fixing it. Just like Sadok said he would.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
No.
I don't.
Oh.
Oh. It is tough because there's a point where it's like, it's not intentional on his part, but being around him is still too dangerous in the unintentional moments.
I mean, they all could have backed away.
Help us. Dude, it's like my life keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
It's hard because he's right.
Well, the problem that I have with it is Gandalf kind of like blames the dwarves for delving too greedily.
Which is what younger Durin's going to do. But older Durin's going to die, and then younger Durin's going to take over.
No, if the Balrog shows up in this season...
He can't. There's no way. God, their scenes together are so good.
They're so good.
I shouldn't have said he had lice in his beard. I detest it when you heap slag on my mother.
Well, in your mother's case, she actually does have lice in it. I'm joking.
But in your mother's case. Wow. The Khazad-dum stuff in this show is great.
It's so good.
I just wish I understood what the elves are fading means more so that I had stakes. But other than like that, Dis is awesome. He's...
now.
Works quick. That can't be her natural eye color, right?
No.
Okay. I was like, her eyes are unreal.
Yeah, I don't believe that is...
Perhaps we can make one of you yet.
I like that the star is, like, wiped off and, like, glowing a little bit through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm glad she's wiped her face a little bit. I always hate when characters and things have, like, the same dirt for like an hour of, like, intro time, and I'm like, people would naturally just kind of scratch at themselves, and so the fact that she's, like, cleaned up a little bit is, like, more realistic.
With this, it's one of those things where, like, for the most part, why would you bother with the ash still falling?
Because your face itches, and so you just kind of naturally rub.
Sure, I just mean, like, they're all, like, they look a mess, because it's like, why bother?
Sure, but it was like, it was, like, caked into her eyelashes when she first woke up.
That
so, like,
was
that being
wild.
wiped away.
That shot.
There's some movies where you're like, it's been a day.
Yeah.
Why do you still look like this?
Keep walking, both of you. Guide my horse. No one need notice.
I mean, if anyone's gonna lose their sight, at least it's the person who's gonna have people taking care of her for her whole life anyway.
I guess.
That's a long time to wander. Even for a fella with big legs.
Is it Tom Bombadil?
No.
It could be Radagast. He's making plants.
I'd be surprised if it was.
I would as well. I feel like these episodes don't necessarily need to be an hour and 12 minutes long.
I wonder why.
There's some times when I'm like, we can cut this a little bit closer.
Yeah.
That's like a personal editing thing, but like, it's not tight.
Yeah.
And my husband.
Husband.
What?
He's not dead. They're just taking a break, right?
I never saw him again after that.
What?
What do you mean? You got married?
He went to the war and she's gonna find him? So now the show's about finding Celeborn? They waited until episode 7 to mention that she's married so that they could have this reveal that he's been missing.
What is it? What do you smell?
Man flesh.
I was winded.
Blast it.
This is the bromance I needed.
Yeah, right?
Turn that camera around. Come on, I want to see it.
I mean, his face says a lot.
I would love if Elrond walked into the room surrounded by Mithril and turned into Hugo Weaving. He's like, I'm back to my full form.
Look at that. Holy.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
To betray your own kind! No! It's you that's betrayed our kind! Squandering our future so you can cling to the past! You profaned the crown you wear!
Oh, Doran. It's so hard because, like, knowing that digging down that Mithril mine is what brings about the end of Khazad-dum, like, his dad is right.
I know.
But the scenes are played so well that it's like, oh, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
We're eating good tonight, boys. Looks like apple meat's back on the menu.
They just murdered like half the whole.
And that's how we settled in the Shire. Without our caravans, we... Oh, man. Nori's just trying to do the right thing.
I know.
You won't listen to any of us.
Oh.
He's going back for Isildur.
The horse saves the day.
I mean, Brago saves Aragorn.
That's true. You know what? That's very true. Because how would Brago have found Aragorn? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just want to see the horse like kick down the barn door.
Yeah. Guys, the horses in Middle-earth are built different, okay?
Built different. That was a gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
Theo.
I was like, if they killed her now, that would be so rude.
Yeah. All of the main characters lived, which is a little, other than like Isildur's friend, and I guess Isildur's.
Yeah.
Aww. He finally accepts his stepdad. It's a big moment. I remember when I finally accepted my stepdad. Takes time.
We stay true to each other. No matter how the path winds.
Unless they get picked off by wolves or buried under an avalanche or the sentiment of it is so nice.
I know, it's so nice, but
I'm like, but that's all a fucking pile of bullshit.
unless we have the opportunity to leave you behind, at which point we will leave you behind.
Oh, you broke your foot? Sucks to die, I guess. Like,
we should go tear the wheels off their cart.
yeah.
It's tough when that's what they were saying 2 episodes ago.
We've left enough folk behind. We're not leaving him.
Let nothing stand in the way of the confidence of teenage girls.
Not without me.
You're not the companion I would have chosen.
What's the good of living, Sadok, if we aren't living good?
Now that sentiment is much better.
Yes. It's a nice
Let's
change of
go.
heart. There, that's the moment
But
we
anyway,
needed.
we're all gonna die.
I would have taken the dad over the mom there.
No,
Just
his
'cause-
foot's probably still like.
Yeah, but mom's
healing.
not the most helpful. Like the night before, Nori's like, I'm depressed. And mom's like, well, go to bed. I was like, hey, you could offer some wisdom. A little help.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's not Sauron.
Or he got hurt so that he could go meet Gilgalad. Big brain moves.
No,
He needs to get to Lindon first before he can be Mordor's king, right? So he's got to go.
But he would have had to known that Galadriel would survive for certain for that plan to work.
She's sturdy. At this point, I would bet on her. He's riding in saddle. Oh, that's rough.
I was hoping we'd get him in front of her like Frodo, fleeing the wraiths.
I was hoping he'd be on a cart.
Oh wow, she gave him her sword.
This feels like a finale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, like, it's weird because they're not setting anything up for the final episode.
Yeah.
This feels like how Game of Thrones used to do, like, the 9 was the big battle, and then 10 was the...
But it wasn't also
Conclusion?
a big there was no action in this.
No, I'm saying last week felt like what Game of Thrones used to do in episode 9,
And
then this feels like
sets
the, like...
up the next season. Yeah,
sets
yeah,
up the next season, but there's a whole episode left.
Yeah? Yeah. Huh.
It's just interesting. I don't know what the conclusion next week's gonna be.
Me neither.
One day this will be your kingdom.
We all need a Disa in our lives.
I would not cross her for all the gold in Middle-earth. Is Disa Sauron?
God, I hope so. That would be wild.
If
Nice
that
breeze
leaf
down there.
wakes up the Balrog.
I will lose it.
Or shall we call it instead, Lord Father?
This is
Sparta.
that could have
That could have been stronger.
a cooler moment.
Yeah.
I even think him just like whispering it would have been better than the like. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite. That's fine. Cool. Yeah, I have no idea what they're setting up for the finale. I don't
get it.
Unless the finale is just the stranger. Because Disa and Durin gonna have to wait. She's like, one day. So,
unless he kills his dad next episode?
No, I don't think it would go that far.
It is strange. Like, I don't know how you market the finale now. If I was Amazon, right, and I had made this season, and I was, okay, episode 6, our reaction was what it was, but I will still say it's the best episode. I think there's the most marketable about it. There was a lot of fun. Thursday Night Football, they were having fun with it, right? Yeah. Today, Thursday Night Football was like, it's the rise of Mordor. I will always talk about these episodes in what they said on Thursday Night Football beforehand, because Amazon paid a lot of money for Thursday Night Football to be on Prime this year.
Yes.
So I don't know what you market next week as, because it's not going to be the epic finale, unless it's like
a big time jump.
Well, but this episode was an hour and 12 minutes. It could legitimately be a 90-minute finale.
Fair, but unless it's just the stranger, like I think that the problem is. Right now, the things that have to happen, Disa and Durin's storyline, either he kills his dad, which I think would be very strange, or it's years in the future. But that also feels strange because there's a fucking Balrog just hanging around down there, and I feel like...
Waking the Balrog is so strange, right? Because now it's, like, present.
And that's the thing. If the Balrog wakes up, then we kind of know that Khazad-dum is screwed. And it just sits there for thousands of years until
while they mine all that
goes
mithril
in there.
But here's the problem, right? They still have to mine all that mithril.
Yeah.
Because
unless they find another solution. No, the mithril, people use mithril.
But they need to make things.
Yeah. You're right.
So there's a problem of like the dwarven army is outfitted with mithril, so they have to go get it. So. And maybe it's that like that leaf went through some crevices, and like it's not until they get through those crevices and the Balrog's just down there while they're digging.
And he's like, surprise, motherfucker!
But my problem with it is that look, I think this episode was actually pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. I liked it.
I will say...
It's long.
The editing they could tighten up a lot.
They could have shaved off those 12 minutes and have it be an hour.
And some of the 12 minutes could have been cut off in like the like double fakes. Like there were 2 fake outs that his mother was dead in the tent. Theo's mom.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of moments where I'm like, a lot of these beats, you have 2 of them. Yeah. And I just wish the show was a little bit tighter, because there's times when...
Or they linger on things where you're like, okay.
It took a full minute for Nori to hand an apple to the stranger.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got the beat with Nori, but I do feel like we could have gotten it just a little bit
tighter.
Yeah. But I think that what they did really well in this episode was lean into the relationships between these characters.
Yeah.
The ones that have been more foundational, like I think Durin and Disa, Durin and Elrond, which are both really great. Durin and his father, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But also like Galadriel and Theo bonding over this shared moment of him thinking that his mom is dead.
Yeah.
And losing his home and, her having lost her husband. Which just, to me, it feels cheap to me.
Yeah.
It feels like a cheap reveal because it's episode 7. Why has he never been mentioned before? Right? Like, it's weird that it's never come up. It's not in the long prologue of her life. Like, the opening of this show is like 12 minutes about Galadriel's backstory, and she does not mention getting married.
No,
which is,
ever.
And that her husband is dead.
He's not, though. That's the thing. That's the problem for us, is we know he's not dead because he's freaking in the movie, so we're like...
Oh, next episode's about Isildur.
Okay,
being
but
captured by Adar, maybe?
maybe I don't. It just feels weird that we are getting even more branches off. Like our characters are like going more separate ways as opposed to coming together for a finale. Because at least we had Galadriel, Isildur, the Queen, and Orindir and all that
That's
together.
three separate storylines now.
But that's what I mean. Like Adar's off one way, Isildur's off the other way, the Queen and Elendil are off another way, and Galadriel's off with Halbrand.
Bronwyn and Orindir are off in their own direction.
Yes.
To Farengar.
And so that's why it feels like a finale.
That one storyline became 5. And Isildur, so 6.
No, I said Isildur.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
5. So we have, the 5 plot lines of Mordor. That can't come together next week, right? And that's what's so weird.
Well, yeah, there's no way, especially if they've sailed off.
If this was a season finale, I don't think I would have felt weird about it because I was like, oh, like next season it'll be like 6 months later.
We'll get the crew back together.
We'll catch up with people. But now I'm like, what happens next week?
I have no idea.
Let's get. Yeah, I feel like we've said what we want to say about the Celeborn thing. I think it's cheap. I think it'll be interesting later.
Sorry,
but
I did want to check the timestamp on there because I'm gonna go back and rewatch that scene because I think maybe I missed it, but it seemed like she was like, yes, we met in a meadow and I was dancing, and suddenly we were married and he was off to war, and I was like, in a day? Like, did I miss something?
No. He went off to war and I never saw him again, was what she said. So she thinks that he died at war.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah, it's another one of those moments where like, okay, well he didn't.
Yeah,
we're like, we know. And like,
same with
Isildur's alive,
he's not dead.
so that's a branch. Now let's move on to most of the stuff in the Southlands was fine. Ultimately, like it was a lot of long scenes between characters that, and I liked their interactions, but ultimately, like nothing really happened. They went home.
Yeah.
The
Queen's mindset has been solidified,
cool.
which I think that like, well done done with that.
I keep calling her Muriel, and it's Muriel.
Muriel.
But I keep calling her Muriel because I have a grandmother named Muriel.
Yeah.
And I do keep making that mistake.
Okay.
And that might be my favorite moment of the whole episode.
Yeah.
Is when you're like, oh my god, like what's she gonna do? And she's like, okay, we'll be back. We're about to wage war. And I was like, yes!
And then you have Elendil beside her, who has lost everything, right? Very, very cool.
Question.
Yeah.
Why was she on the expedition?
The Queen?
Cool. I if anyone has an answer to why she went with them, I would love a theory because I have legitimately thought about it all week and I can't figure out why she went. Now I know why. Because they needed her to like make this proclamation and for her and Galadriel to become buds.
But you mean strategically there is absolutely
why would
no
you
reason.
send a queen on a fact-finding mission?
She's not a fighter. She is not a war commander, from what I understand.
Oh no, she sat on the hill and watched. Like she,
yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
She wasn't even the general.
I just if I was sending, I have so many questions about the whole expedition of it all that we can't get into here. Maybe we'll do a longer episode about like that, but. I thought her mindset was great there. And then the cut to Elendil not responding, I thought he was going to have left. But I think it's actually a stronger choice that he's standing there, but he can't respond because he's so emotional.
Yes.
That was really good stuff.
Yes.
Honestly, cool. All of the stuff at the top of that hill, between the 4 of them, excellent.
Yes, and then again with Orindir and Bronwyn, them like leaving them and them coming back together. Very, very well done.
You think that now Halbrand can't be Sauron?
No, there's no way.
I still think that he's the only real option, if it's somebody that we've already met. I don't think that there's any other character that can legitimately be Sauron at this point, because I don't think that Adar can be Sauron. I think that would be really weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I don't think that the Stranger can be Sauron. So I think that if it's someone that we've met, it has to be Halbrand.
I don't see how.
Maybe the plot of next episode is finding out who Sauron is. Like, maybe that's what the like thematic thrust. It's weird that that's not set up in this episode, but like maybe that's where they're going next week. The thing that is most baffling about this, because I think this was actually it wasn't as fun as last week, but I actually think this was a better episode of TV than last week's.
Yeah.
I felt like the reason that characters were doing the things that they were doing made more sense.
Yeah.
I thought that the interactions were really solid. I thought the like character dialogue was really well done.
Yep.
The lines about the mother from Durin and his father, they're both Durin, but from the two Durins was really beautiful stuff.
All of the Khazad-dum stuff is always fantastic.
The Harfoot dialogue this episode was much better than...
Yeah, just that one moment where they're like, we don't leave it, we stick together, and I was like, incorrect.
But that's the point I want to get to, is that the Harfoot stuff this episode is so good, but it is hampered by the way they behaved in previous episodes.
Yes, I agree.
And like, if you showed me this episode without those, I'd be like, oh, the Harfoots are rad. They feel like hobbits.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting choice. Until the woman is like, I can admit that I was wrong. That was a moment where I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm back on these Harfoots. Yeah. Like, because you don't see a lot of mature characters admit that they're wrong in TV and film. And I appreciated that scene with her a lot.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't like, I was wrong. She's like, Nori was right.
No. She said, I can admit when I'm wrong. That was her, like, almost verbatim. That's a tough thing to say. Mm-hmm. And that was a cool moment. And then she was like, and this guy can go on the death mission with you.
Yeah.
What do you think of the
Yes?
The three ladies?
No idea. Legitimately, no idea.
They have crazy magic. Like, they have, like, Maiar level magic.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is, like, I feel like they must be Maiar, or at least, like, yeah, I feel like they have to be.
Right?
That was a lot of power. That's more than, like, Galadriel can do.
Without the ring, definitely more. With Nenya, she might have been able to pull off something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. But I was like, oh, yeah, these guys have to be...
That was an impressive... Like, that was a lot of magic for if they're not Maiar.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting development.
Yeah, I have no idea who they are.
They are definitely evil, because they can touch fire,
they're
right?
Not... Well, I don't know if touching the fire... I think lighting up everything makes them evil.
So they're either looking for the stranger because he's Sauron and doesn't know it, or they're looking for the stranger to kill him for Sauron.
But then it would be weird because Sauron could have, like, goodness in him, and he's supposed to be a creation of evil. Like,
I just don't really know.
Well, technically he's a Maiar, but he was... I don't know.
Nori's like, I'm gonna go warn the stranger about them. And I don't really know what Nori's plan for getting ahead of the
people who can disappear and reappear behind her are. Very good question.
I just feel like they have I appreciate magic.
I appreciate the commitment. I have no idea how she is going to get there first. I mean, I think she did send them off in the wrong direction, but like...
I don't think they listened.
Why would you listen to her when you, I don't know, touch the flower and we're like, that way?
It would have been interesting if we saw them go off in the wrong direction. I think that would have helped me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm kind of like, Nori, like, what's your plan? They can throw fire.
Yeah.
What exactly are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that this episode continued to not reveal anything.
Except Celeborn.
Well, that and the Balrog, which are two things that I wish it hadn't revealed.
Celeborn was a reveal in the trailer, so it was less...
The Balrog.
The Balrog was less impactful.
Because now that that Balrog's there now. They can't just, like, forget about it next week, right?
Yeah. It can't just go back to sleep.
And the dwarves can't fight it. They don't have Mithril yet.
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know where this is going, but like I said, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was pretty good. If you took the Celeborn part out of it, I'd be like, well done, guys. This is great. Loved it, all of it. That part was just very jarring in the middle, and especially in the middle of a scene that I really wanted to be emotionally invested in, and I was like, whoa. Get away.
Well, because now it's like, do you have a daughter?
I don't know.
And it's weird that they won't. It is so weird that they have a protagonist and they just won't tell us what's going on with her.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's hard to be invested in her because I'm like, oh wait, she's married?
Well, okay.
She's our protagonist. It's episode 7, and you're trying to like.
She doesn't have a...
Here's a tease. And I'm like, no. You tease with Adar. You tease with the stranger. You tease with the... But, like, our main character, let us just know if Celebrian is alive so that I can stop sitting here and being like, wait, what about her daughter?
Yeah.
Who is
like,
supposed to be 1,000 years old?
Yes. But, like, you could easily clear that up with,
But
like,
it should have been...
Bronwyn being like, oh, like, are you a mother as well? Like, bringing her child back. She's like, no, or yes.
But it should have been in the prologue.
Should have, yeah.
The prologue that tells Galadriel's backstory should have mentioned
this. And introduces her brother. Failed to mention her husband went off. Yeah. Anyways, that was definitely, if you take that out of this episode, I really, really loved it. That was a weird trip in the middle of it. But
I'm just
yeah.
I liked this. I liked the last 2 episodes more than the previous episodes. I liked episode 2 quite a bit. I thought episode 2 was actually pretty solid. So I think that, like, of the 7 that we've gotten, 3 of them I think have been pretty good. But there are still so many writing questions that I'm like, why are you making this so hard on yourselves?
Yeah.
Like, why did you choose? And I mean this genuinely. I don't mean this to be mean. I mean this more from a, like, I want the answer.
Yeah,
of
like genuinely.
At what point in the process did they sit down as a writing staff and go, this is going to be unbelievably difficult to pace out? Because it is, right? When you have decided to go in so many different directions.
It's hard.
It is hard to kind of keep, like, a rhythm.
Especially with, like, they're all new to this.
Well, the showrunners are, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, you know, like, there's some stuff that they're doing really well, but there is some stuff that does not work.
Well, and I find it fascinating that the Khazad-dum stuff is so much stronger than everything else.
Yeah.
From a writing perspective. And I don't think that that's a me personally thing. Every person I've talked to about the show loves Durin and Elrond and Disa and everything going on around them.
Yeah.
And I do wonder why that is... I wonder why that feels tighter than the rest of the show to me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because the show is called The Rings of Power, and that is the plot line that is directly related to the Rings of Power.
To the actual Rings of Power.
Right,
yeah.
so it might just be that, like, the thrust of what this entire show is about lives a little bit more in that storyline, whereas, like, ultimately, the, like, creation of Mordor and all of Galadriel in the Southlands story so far is kind of a footnote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
In the story, it's like, oh yeah, Galadriel was there and the mountain erupted, and that, I guess that also, like, got the Númenóreans involved. But in terms of the actual, like, plot of what the Rings of Power is going to be about, this ultimately isn't that important.
Yeah.
And so I think that the stuff in the Mithril mines having bigger stakes, I don't really understand the stakes because I don't know how the elves are going to die, but the setting up bigger stakes of all of the elves are going to die versus the stakes in the Southlands are always kind of like, we're going to die right now, except all of us live for another 2,000 years and have to live past this. So, like, the stakes of that don't feel as real to me, which is weird because I know that the elves don't die, and yet somehow that still has, like, slightly more stakes because it is causing, like, here's what it is. The stakes of the elves and the Mithril are causing relationship tension between the characters.
Yeah.
It's causing them to butt heads on their philosophical ideals.
Yeah. There's
no tension in the Southlands between our characters because there is an enemy and they have to fight it, but none of them can die against that enemy because it's not even the real enemy. Mm-hmm. And so I have no concern about the relationship between Galadriel and Halbrand in the Southlands. In the same way that I am watching the scenes between Elrond and Durin with a genuine concern about what the friction in the relationship means, especially between Durin and his father, who I did not think was going to be as big a character as he is. And that actor is so good. Not as good as Durin. Younger Durin, man. I did not know that a dwarf crying would hit me that hard.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
It's just an interesting show. Like, it's I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yes, that is good. I'm hopeful. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying not to, like, a few weeks ago, it was just a big letdown for me. And so I was trying to, like, keep it cool. But I there was a lot that I liked in this, and I'm hoping that it really shapes up into something.
I just hope the Balrog doesn't attack next week.
Yeah,
I feel like it has to, but also
it would be very weird. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out next week.
I know. I've never gone into a finale so unsure of what the finale
is. Yeah, yeah.
None of these storylines feel like they should end next week.
No.
Or like they all feel like...
Or like they will have any kind of resolution. Because if the storyline doesn't end, obviously we know there's going to be more seasons. That's not the problem. But generally at the end of a season, you want to mark it as the end of a season with something, right?
Well, you've got to leave people remembering your show.
Yes.
Right? And I think that, like, right now...
If they leave it too ambiguous, I think that'll be a problem.
Or if it just feels like more beginnings.
Maybe they...
I think that it would be a rough... I think it would be a rough end. Unless they're like... Psych, there's actually 10 episodes, and we were lying about that. That would be the craziest thing. If they actually shot 10 episodes, and they lied and said that they were putting out 8, so that after episode 8, they could be like, you thought that was the end? No, 2 more. Can you imagine?
That would be the weirdest marketing thing, but...
I don't know, Sandman did it, and that Sandman episode 11, apparently the numbers on it were so insane.
But it wasn't related.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying it would be... That
would be hilarious.
I can't imagine next week is the finale, and so in my brain, I'm like, what's going on? But it probably is.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll watch it, and we'll let you guys know what we think.
Yeah, we will. I'm in a weird place with this right now.
Yeah.
I'm positive though. This is the most I've ever been like the most I've ever after the first viewing, because I've watched all of these episodes at least 3 times now, right? Interestingly, my opinion on all of them has not changed from the first viewing. Which doesn't always happen. Like sometimes, I'll have drastically different opinions on a second viewing.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in this show where I'm walking away being like, you know what? Like there's some like really good relationship stuff here. And if they can just tighten up the plotting and tighten up the editing, I think that there would be a really strong show moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that like it just gets better. Like I hope that they just
don't have to be an hour and 12 minutes.
They don't have to. Yeah.
They don't have to be an hour and 12. I'm pleading with you. For season 2, they don't have to be they just don't. Like, they don't have to be an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to be an hour and 12 minutes, drop them at 9 p.m. Eastern so I don't have to watch this at midnight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, because we're going to bed.
But no, ultimately, that was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, thumbs up. Let's go, Rings of Power.
Well done.
Yeah. On the penultimate episode, my favorite word. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god, she's hungry. Yeah. And we must feed her. And this episode, that goddess of an algorithm is...
Mount Doom.
I was going to say the Balrog.
Balrog's not here yet.
She just woke up from a very long nap. She's hungry.
No, I was going to say that mountain.
Mount Doom ate last week. God, they've chewed through all those. Well, no, they're all fine. They're like 4 people died.
That's true. You're right.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And go to bed, you nerds.
Yeah.
Do something nerdy tonight.